Creating large photorealistic 3D urban environments for visualization has never been easier. With just an average aerial video and using Gaussian splatting technology, you can create photorealistic environments which not only can be viewed interactively on the web, but be brought into games engines. What exactly is a Gaussian splat? Without getting into the science, it is essentially a volumetric rendering technique used to convert scattered point cloud data into smooth, continuous representations, which is very powerful, as it allows real-time rendering of photorealistic scenes from small samples of images or videos. For this, we will be using Luma AI, which for now is a free service, and they have just called it interactive scenes, but it is essentially just Gaussian splatting nicely packaged. For the input video, it is recommended to have a scene that is well lit and not having too many shadows. If you're focusing on an object, it is a good idea to go around it 3 times when recording and try to cover both the low and high angles, as otherwise there will be gaps in the model. Similar case goes for the drone shots, but even with shorter clips, you can get impressive results, like this stock drone footage here of the castle, which I will test on. Over in the web app, if you select interactive scenes and click on Start Now on Web for free, all you need to do is drag and drop your video clip. Name it, select the camera type, and upload. Processing can take something like 30 minutes, so get a coffee, and when the scene is ready, you can click the thumbnail and get this nice starting animation. You can then orbit around and zoom in and out. On the top right, you can also press the download button and presented with various options. So you can do the typical 3D mesh download, or download the Gaussian Splat file, which has the file extension called .ply. So for the Unreal Engine, we'll be wanting to download this file. You can do this for any of the videos you have processed, so feel free to experiment. If you go to the Luma AI Notion page, the links are provided below, you can access the free Gaussian Splat plugin. It also explains how it works, which I'll go through in a bit. At the bottom, you can simply select the Unreal Engine you're working with and download the starter project file, which has the plugin contained within. If you don't have your own Gaussian Splat, you can also download a sample one from this Notion site as well. So in this case, I'll use this aerial footage of the night scene. First, we will create a scene with baked lighting from our 3D scan. When you open a downloaded starter file, you'll be presented with this nice cactus, which we won't be needing, so you can delete everything except the post-process volume. And then you just need to drag and drop your .ply file directly into your content drawer. It'll produce these 4 blueprints. There are essentially 2 types. One is baked, as in that the lighting is baked into the texture, and the other is a dynamic one, which means the lighting in the scene will affect it. They both have a no_TAA version, which essentially improves performance at the cost of quality. For this night scene, we will simply just use the baked blueprint. So you can drag this out anywhere into the scene, and just like that, you have a Gaussian splat in Unreal, fully textured and lit for a night scene. The model is very lightweight, so it's easy to move around and scale like a regular model. As typical with these splats, you'll get a lot of incomprehensible artifacts outside from your central focus, so you can zoom into the main area you are interested in and crop out the rest. Luckily, this plugin has a great, easy to use crop box already added. If you go to the outliner and the top model folder, you see in the detail panels, you can enable a crop box. By default, in the layer stack, first crop box is active. So you can simply rotate and scale this box, and it will crop to your selected area. It takes a bit of playing around to get the right area you want, but this is amazing to see how flexible the model is. You can then combine this with other scans, or use it as a background to work in Unreal. What is interesting about these files is that you can montage them together and create a dynamically lit scene that affects them too. Just to show you how this works, I've downloaded a couple of sample files from Polycam. This is another great 3D scanning site, an app which I'll go through in another video. But here you can access other people's uploads to test out, and which is also great to see what is possible with these scans. For this, I will just open the same Unreal starter file from Luma AI and delete all the content again. I'll add the sun position calculator on the lights over here, so we can have a real sun affecting our scans. If you don't have this option, you'll need to go over to Edit, Plugins, and then search for the sun position calculator. Just check the box and then restart. I will also go over to the selection mode and select landscape just to create a quick default terrain to help level our models. Just don't forget to switch back to the standard selection mode. You can see here the lights are all too strong, so a quick fix is just to go over to the post-process volume, down to exposure, and set a manual exposure. Then adjust the value to something reasonable. Also, I will just hide the horizon line a bit by going over to Visual Effects and adding an exponential height fog. From here, it is the usual business of dragging and dropping all the splat files into the content drawer. Only difference this time is that we want to select the dynamic blueprint that is created, and then drop that into the scene. You see that one of the problems with the Gaussian Splat files, particularly the ones taken from aerial videos, is that they are often rotated in a strange position and have no scale. But it's quite easy just to rotate, scale, and move the object using the typical Unreal transform controls. Then, as shown before, I'll move the crop box one to focus on the building. Now if you go to the sun and change the time of day, it will affect the 3D scan too, which is great for creating custom scenes, which you cannot do within the web app in Luma AI. I will now just speed up dropping in a few other aerial scans and rotate, scale, and move them into position. Due to the lightweightness, it is very easy to move and combine all these. You can also place normal spotlights and combine together with the sun to get various lighting effects. Based on these techniques, you can see how you can create some great architectural animations with no physical modeling involved. You just need to be aware of the best distance and position to place your camera, as due to the nature of Gaussian splats, getting too close or from certain angles you can get bad results. However, from bird's eye views, you can get great effects animations. I will take a closer look into working with these models in Unreal, adding some interactivity in the next video, so I hope to see you there.